What's going on YouTube? Mr. Dude 206. And man, yeah, it is a Neo Geo cabinet, a long time coming. I don't know. It's last piece of the puzzle I want to say for all the arcade cabinets that I would like. Probably maxed out at this point because had to clear out a lot of the garage space to get this one in here. So 4 cabinets. Definitely one cool to add. It is in very rough shape. Very rough shape. But the monitor is pretty legit. It has its minor issues in the very bottom, but so the story goes is that I was on Craigslist, as I always am, just looking at video games and arcade stuff, and it looks like my local arcade bar was selling stuff. And then, long story short, I went and wanted to look at some of the cabs, but the first one that I was going to look at was a 6-slot. The 6-slot had a lot of collapse, or it had more damage to the monitor than I guess this one did. See, you can see it's slightly there, but the rest of it, it's fine. It's not perfect, but you know, what can you get for CRT of the arcade generation? Let me see if I can get this to quiet down real quick.
Round 1, fight.
Anyways, like I was saying, I was on Craigslist and I wanted to pick up, I guess I just typed in Neo Geo, literally, and the shit popped up, and it was, you know, post like maybe a day. And I've always wanted a Neo Geo, and those that are fans of the channel knew that I wanted a Neo Geo. The guy was really cool. I knew him prior to prior deals because, you know, local guys know local guys in the gaming community. But I got a really good deal on this. I paid, I don't want to say how much I paid. You know, if you really want to know, shoot me a PM or whatever. But I didn't pay nearly as much as the going rate would be for a 4-slot, given the fact that when he sold it to me, he thought, or they thought, that only 1 slot was working, when it's just really dirty. So inside is a 4-slot. And it came with the 4-slot. Inside, well, I also bought it without games. Let me go ahead and shut this off real quick so I can freaking talk. So anyways, I bought this with, it came with no games. And I bought it, you know, knowing that I would be able to fix some stuff. Obviously, the control panel needs some work for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and order some new, or I'm going to go tomorrow and get some plexiglass and some new carriage bolts here. And then maybe some new buttons, depending on how bad they are. Picked up a new overlay on eBay. I picked up, instead of the 4-slot, I'm going to change this into just a 1-slot. But have a 4-slot in there. Or maybe I'll buy another 4-slot marquee. But, you know, who knows. Also, this cab does have a lot of issues on the edge of it, a lot of chippedness, and this has probably been sitting in someone's storage for a long time because he said he bought it from some kind of auction. And definitely dirty. He said he got it from California, and look at this. The memory card thing is all super jacked up, but I want to try to maybe hammer this in place or see if I can wash it or something, but this is pretty grimy. Pretty cool, but I haven't even looked into it to see if it has the headphone jack or anything. Sure doesn't. At least I don't think it does. But look, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, I don't even know. Look at all this grime. Old arcade cabinets, man. You be sure to wash your hands, because look at this shit. Could be like rats or mice or whatever the fuck, but old cabinets, man, you definitely got to refurbish them. Definitely not as dirty, or this cab is dirtier than my freaking Naomi one that I pretty much finished. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2, everything's set up on that. Anyways, I haven't even checked any of the coin mechs. I know everything has been burned out. This bulb is burned out, so those definitely need to be changed. And I gotta check if I get proper voltage, but you know, me being in the garage, I have a whole lot of extra shit going on. And this one just looked like it fell off. Burned out. Burned out. Will this even come out? Maybe. Yeah, it'll come out. Give me a second. Yep, came right out. Let me focus there. Am I gonna focus? No. Won't focus. Anyways, I am going to live get a bulb because these are typically ones that you have in cars. So let's just see if it is, where's my lighting shit? Oh, I better pick up that bulb because it's going to totally just fuck up my tire. I'll figure it out. What I got here? Gorilla Video. And have a whole bunch of extra micro switches too, so. Is this what I'm looking for? Are these the bulbs I'm looking for? Yep. Found them. 194. So I'm going to slap one of these guys in there. Oh, fucking hit my car on the way. See if it comes to life. If it comes to life, that would be super legit. Super fucking legit. And, Tom, if you're watching, man, I guess you can watch this to see, get some ideas on how you want to situate your situation. Looks like this clip was broken. That's why it wasn't doing its thing. But anyways, this shit's dirty as fuck. It came with a key here, which the dude didn't sell it to me with the key because I don't know if he knew if there was a key, but the key was literally hanging on the coin mech. And this is to unlock this marquee here. So I'll probably just keep that in here so I remember. Or maybe that's a bad idea. I don't know. Key's there. There's a switch with these 4 slots or whatever. There's a test button and credit. This toggle switch needs to be changed because it's fucking hard. And look at that. Looks like the bulb was just dead. So, sweet. And I do know that this marquee is toast because I pulled it out. I think I'm going to replace it with another LED one like I did the other one. So, cool, huh? Makes me want to replace the other one now. Yep. Blazing Star. Bingo. So that's all illuminatied. But pretty neat, right? Anyways, When I first played my Neo Geo, or played Neo Geo, was at a local Asian market back when I was, you know, fucking, I don't know, I was in elementary school or middle school. I would always go down to this Asian market and freaking, you know, pick up food with my mom and all that stuff, and I'd always play the Neo Geo. It was a 2-slot back then, but I'd always play the Neo Geo there because I was waiting for my mom to get her shopping done, and the game that was always there had to be Sonic Wings, but it was Aero Fighters, also known as. So very nostalgic that I could put a bunch of games that I played in the past. So pretty dope. I don't know why it didn't switch over, but I used to always pick the Dolphin. But just to say, real quick, let me flicking, you know, I guess the volume knob's inside, but one thing I wanted to say is that pretty cool to have the Neo Geo, and I'm definitely going to restore this thing. I also ordered some T-molding, so I'm going to rip all this off. I'm going to sand all this down. I think I am going to, and there's just so much shit I need to do. I mean, Tom, I remember you saying Bondo would be a good idea. I mean, Bondo is a cool idea, but if you were to get like some sawdust and some wood glue, that would pretty much do the same thing as Bondo, and it give you the same texture that you like. So I'm probably gonna peel all this off, and you know, I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I know I ordered some T-molding, so I'll pretty much hoard all the parts until then. And it still has the original Neo Geo behind it, so some mofo must have just spray painted it because it's kind of vague. But shit. Oh, I also wanted to say, I don't remember if I said in the beginning of the video, the first thing that I do on these cabinets is I take off those stupid little feet that they have. These feet here, because these are toast. And I unscrewed it, and then I put on caster wheels. They're like 1-inch caster wheels you can get at Harbor Freight for like $2. And if you have your 20% discount, you know, then you're free to roll. You can roll this without doing the shimmy. Only problem is if you're in an extreme fighting championship with your friends, this shit may roll a little bit. But at that point, you probably put a doorstop or some shit. But anyways, this Mr. Dude 206 showing you guys a new acquisition. Finally got a freaking Neo Geo cabinet, so pretty awesome, and can't wait to get it up to snuff. What's going on, YouTube? Little update on the arcade. I've been keeping a little busy with it. So what I have done is I replaced the LED, or the ballast marquee. I had to do a little hackery there because the bulb or the light that I bought was 2 feet. So I just cut the housing and let the thing hang out until my other one gets here. So I'm going to replace that one with the 14-inch. Because I thought that this marquee was as big as the other ones, and it's not. It's short by like 4 inches. Anyways, what I'm going through now is I'm taking all the metal bezels out. Well, they're out in the garage, but there's a metal bezel here that I sanded, used my power sander, and then I spray painted it black. So, sorry, been busy if I'm short of breath. But anyways, I got some cheap Rust-Oleum from Walmart. That was like $5. Then I went to Walmart as well, got some Color Max, some sponges, some alcohol, and also I picked up some plexiglass. I'm going to use this plexiglass so I can replace the marquee that I took out. I also installed a power strip because I needed one, and I was tired of using that double. It just wasn't enough. Anyways, this is the bezel that came off, and it's in pretty shitty condition. I mean, I plan on matching up the size of this and then cutting a whole new piece. I mean, look at that. They just used straight up masking tape and then put it behind. When I had it all mocked up to the machine with the light, it looked fucking horrible. So there's that. There's another thing I got to redo is I'm going to redo the bezel. So I got to go by like Joann's or Marshall's or some kind of hobby shop and pick up some black tagboard paper or whatever, and then cut a new bezel out. Right now I'm working on the speaker trim. As I'm sanding off the speaker trim, for some reason somebody wanted to use duct tape above the speakers, which I don't know why, so I had to clean it off, and now I'm going to repaint it. I'm going to hand paint it with a sponge because I'm not trying to do any spray paint, and I'm not doing a super showroom quality restoration, but I'm definitely going to bring this back to at least something that's more comfortable for me to have in my collection. So as for the side art, I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but I think I can actually wash this off and keep the original, but I might end up just getting a whole new deal. I gotta get some sawdust from work, and then I'm gonna use some wood glue, or maybe I'll do some Bondo since I have a whole lot of that from the cars. You know, I don't know yet, but this stuff should come off pretty easy and smooth out real good. Not really a big deal, and it's not chipping off. I also vacuumed the shit out of the monitor, got that all cleaned. I couldn't adjust it anymore, or I couldn't fix my monitor like I wanted to, but meaning the little shit at the bottom, the little blurb, it wasn't coming out. But I'd say 8 out of 10, my monitor is pretty cool. I do plan on sanding this and doing, just doing something with the T-molding and then giving it a good wash, because this thing is still dirty as fuck. But I'm not going to give it a final wipe down until I'm done with all my sanding. And if you want to call somebody, call 909-680-5000. They will hook you up. But anyways, that's the update on the machine. Oh, also, while I have this here, am I done with this? Yeah, pretty much. I'm just going to paint. But anyways, I ordered a new coin slot bezel, so I got to cut some sheet metal. So as soon as I take that off, I'm going to cut some sheet metal and match it up. No biggie on there. I got to wash and sand this down. Probably hand paint that as well, because I'm not trying to use spray paint. And any of these carriage bolts that just look old, I'm just going to take a wire brush and then bring them back to their original glory. Probably the same deal with these guys here with all the freaking water stains. I'm just going to take a wire brush and go to town. Shouldn't be too bad. This guy really torqued the shit out of this one. Never tighten, or don't over torque your bolts, because you'll fuck shit up. What's going on, YouTube? You guys tired of these Neo Geo Cabinet restoration videos yet? Comment below. I'm also like doing these so I can catalog the shit that I've done, and I could look back on it and see what I've done. I have videos on all my other cabs too, but they're unlisted. But, it's for my pleasure, and while I'm doing it, you get the honor to go through this journey while the videos are viewable. Anyways, I am currently in the process of labeling all of the buttons, because I plan on taking off this control panel, sanding it down, and spray painting it. So I really recommend anybody that's new to the arcade scene or new to wiring to always label your shit. And I was gonna disassemble like well, hopefully that stuff doesn't freaking smear off, because that would suck. But that's 2-player up, 2-player right, and 2-player left, and then the control here. And it's always good to even take these apart every so often and clean them, because look how freaking grimy these things are. So I really need to get these in some soap and water and take care of how dirty these things are. What I wanted to do today is actually take apart the MVS, the 4-slot, and remove the battery, because if you don't know, the battery corrodes and it totally just messes up your board. and then your shit's not working anymore. But anyways, I'm taking the panel off. I'm gonna deal with that and sand it and paint it. But speaking of sanding and paint, what I ended up doing, or let me show you on another side, is what I ended up doing is I had some leftover Bondo putty paste, and what really sucks is that this is particle and it's not plywood. And those that know that work with plywood, it's so fucking porous and it's hard to get perfect. I mean, I'm gonna sand this and get it as close to smooth as possible. And I was thinking about getting the vinyl, but the vinyl is like $200 and I'm not down to spend that. I haven't went through and cleaned this and then painted it. I mean, I tried sanding it, but it was just getting worse and worse, so I just cleaned it real good and then painted it. The best part that came was the only part that was plywood, and if you can kind of see it, it's kind of shiny there. But as it got to the top, and it was like when particle board gets wet, it gets all fucking discombobulated. But I plan on sanding all this off, getting it as smooth as possible, and then rolling on some paint. But speaking of paint, I peeled off a big chunk of the paint, and I got it paint matched at Lowe's, and I got it paint matched for, what is that? It was $14, and then I got some little dinky rollers, and then some other rollers, and then this is the black paint. I haven't decided whether I want to do the coin door or not, but I'll probably... You know, when you start doing a restoration, you start going down the rabbit hole. But due to the fact that there's so many scratches on it, I will definitely figure something out. Either mask it and spray it or take off the whole assembly. Right now, I just want to handle one thing at a time. And right now, I'm just worried about the control panel. If you can see there, I went ahead and tore off the T-molding. A lot of stuff I'm getting in the mail. Also, I went ahead and... This is an old Air Guys marquee that I had. So there's the cut plexiglass that I had, and then the new or the newly painted metal trim, and it came out pretty well. Because this is the sheet that I had, and what I use is my favorite tool. I use my grinder. So what you should do, you can get this at Lowe's and Home Depot and shit. It's like $18. Be sure to measure your marquee first before you go out and buy any material, which is kind of smart. I'll probably save this for this plexi on this as soon as I get around to it. And maybe I'll get a new plexi for this as well because it's pretty scratched up for my Street Fighter cab. So there's that. Yeah, so it's... Well, should I crack this open? I mean, the red's pretty... He said it was 98% match. Sorry. It was 98% match on the paint. So we will give it a look-see. So, that is that. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't have a brush handy. So what I'm gonna do, just to see if it'll match, I need a little bit more. There we go. Looks like it needs to be fucking darker. Or maybe it needs to dry. I don't know, man. Need to add more red to that, looks like. Maybe I think I have to go back and add a little bit more red to it. it's definitely not the Neo Geo red. That's more like the Bondo red. Oh, it looks like I'm going back to Lowe's. Well, that's a disappointment. Well, I'll probably go after I label shit. What's going on, YouTube? I don't remember where I quite left off, but still working on the Neo while I have time this weekend. So I'm pretty much posting up all the videos that as I go. But anyways, what I did recently is I took the coin, or the what is this? The headphone memory card bezel, and I sanded it off because I ordered another one from this dude Zabo Arcades somewhere. But I had to smash it and then grind it because the one that I had a lot of damage to it. So I grinded it down and hit it with a mallet and made it pretty much flat. So just waiting for that so I can slap the sticker on it and then put it in its place. Another thing that I did is that I took the 4-slot apart, cleaned it up. It was very grimy. If you're fans of my Instagram, you would totally see all the pictures. All the pictures of my progress, because I post on that pretty much as I do it. I took some sandpaper and then cleaned all the rows, and then I also removed the battery. Forgot where I threw. Oh, here's the battery. You remove the battery, and as far as I know, you remove the battery because you don't have to have your saves or something, or the internal clock or some, it's a fucking battery. I don't know the logistics or the deal between it. Google it. I'll probably Google it after I'm doing this video. But anyways, these explode, and they totally just mess up your board and prevents them from obviously working. I have all the micro switches in here that I need to replace. I have all my controls taken apart in here. They cleaned up pretty good. I mean, the buttons are still solid, so no need to get rid of those. I still am waiting on the control panel. So I put the control panel back and I sanded it off, and I didn't go too deep because this was like super rusty and shit, because the control panel overlay is going to go across this, and so is my plexi. Speaking of plexi, I went ahead and made the plexi and then got my took the old one, if you guys didn't see the old one, and then I traced that there. Do I have the crusty old one? I think I possibly threw it away, unsure. Anyways, I did have to go back to Lowe's and I got my paint matched. I mean, I literally just went on their little wall of color and chose one that I thought was right, but this one's way better than the one that they originally gave me. And it does have its imperfections, and it could use another coat, but I only wanted to spend so much on this project. As for the Bondo part, it came out pretty good. I don't know, you can barely see it with my camera, but it came out pretty good. I sanded it a lot. I Bondoed with the putty, and it came out pretty well. I'm still waiting on the T-molding due to the holiday weekend, Labor Day. It's not going to ship out till a little bit. I did the coin door, or I did this armor plating here. So that's all painted. I used Armor All on this because I didn't want to take that apart and paint it and see some imperfections of when I masked it. The mask or the tape peeled off a little bit. So my suggestion is that use a heat gun and then slowly push it back with some lacquer thinner, and then you should be able to get your paint back on point. But as it sits, I'm pretty satisfied with the situation, especially how it was. Especially since I'm going to be able to look back at the arcade and say, hey, it looked way freaking better. Control panel is pretty damn smooth. Yeah, it's all coming together. I also made a new freaking bezel in here. So I took my contact paper and then did that. And I'm still waiting on, I'm not doing the side art, but I went ahead and ordered a decal set off of the internet for like 20 bucks. So I'm going to put the decals back. And this isn't perfect, like I said. The reason why I didn't take off or sand off too much is because of the particle board. If you remove that vinyl wrap, you'll get nothing but the porous particle board behind it. So you kind of need the vinyl wrap to keep it smooth. And, you know, I did the best that I can. So, you know, it is what it is. It's whatever. So, but I'm happy with it. As soon as this T-molding gets on, as soon as I get all the shit together, shit should be solid. I am having a few monitor issues just because I noticed that when I have my vertical hold or my vertical positioning or vertical size expanded, it kind of loses its picture. So possibly need to do a cap kit on this eventually, but as it sits now, you know, I am totally fine. So now it's just the waiting game on what kind of parts that I need for the cab. So I'm waiting on the control panel. I'm waiting on the marquee. The marquee, I ordered a small one on accident, so I have to wait for the eBay seller to hit me back on that. And then put the buttons back, and then I'll be back in business. And then, a bunch of shit got to come in. But as it sits now, pretty darn cool. So I can't wait till I get this all situated. So spent pretty much the whole weekend getting this all together. And you can do it too if you have a lot of time, or not even a lot of time.
Thank you.
What's going on, YouTube? Fucking a lot of shit. So, I got my control panel in, put all my buttons, wired it up, finished the paint, need the T-molding, but I just wanted to dive in what I already had done. I got the control panel stuff today, like I just said, and I got my marquee in as well. It's a marquee, it's not the one I wanted, but it was cheap, and I have another one on the way that's actually 4 slot, so I guess I have variations. But if you see here, what I had to do, just to show you the magic of marquees, is that I ordered one that was too small, so what I did is I used black vinyl to split the difference on there. And that's pretty much one of the only mini marquees I have is for Kabuki Clash. So let me go ahead and slide this back up in there. Bingo. And yeah, there we go. Mini marquee. So I put all the hardware back. I upgraded the joysticks because I had some other joysticks. Where are the old ones? They're over here. My cousin gave me some joysticks, so I went ahead and upgraded because he pulled his from like a Super Evo fight stick or some shit, but they're basically the same. Hap. One issue I had with the control panel is that the overlay didn't match the buttons. So what I had to do is I had to drill some extra holes. And to show you what went on with the wiring is, see, there was extra 4 holes, but I had to drill 4 additional holes because these were like way off. Apparently the generic Neo Geo overlay that was on it is just different layout. But I definitely took my time, and for those that are doing this, I really suggest you get a unibit. And if you don't know what a unibit is, let me see if I have it, or maybe it's attached to my drill. This is a unibit. It basically lets you drill whatever diameter you want, and I just burned this through the metal, and I got the holes that I needed. Really came in handy. I also had to space out the frickin' the buttons. So I took the old one and kind of used these as a half template. I used the first two and then the second two. And this is the old control panel. So I just cut it in half because I couldn't lay it down as a template for my buttons. Because see that the way that they're not really lined up. And if I would have lined that up the way it is, it would have been way out of the graphic. So I had to do a little bit of custom action there. So cool. Plop that down there. What else? Rewired it, changed all the buttons. I'm waiting on these guys here. They are the credit counters. I had to order these from a guy in the UK, and so they're going to be coming shortly. And for those that don't know, those get wired with these harnesses here. And the other harnesses are down here. You see those two? Or maybe down there hanging. They attach into the board. There's two spots for it. So looking forward to getting that, because I really want to make my Neo Geo complete. And I guess if I wanted to go another step, I would get these individual EL panels, but those are a bitch and a half. Although I do have a way to wire them a different way. Is you get like two sets of relays, and then if you have normally open, normally close, or double pole, double throw, you could, you know, pick which one. And it's a bunch of wiring. It's all in my head, but I could figure it out. And then you just use an LED bulb behind each, but I don't know how it would illuminate, or if it would illuminate as well. Anyways, still waiting on this here. The bezel for the... where did I put it? Dude, oh, really? I just put it under all this shit. The bezel for the headphone jack. And I don't know how long it's going to take, because this guy that I bought it from, it could take like freaking... It says 4 to 6 weeks. So, gonna have that more complete once I have that on there. So, yeah. I also ordered a cap kit, so I can get rid of that little shockwave there, and you know, and then it will be prime time. But oh, also I ordered decals. I'm gotta wait for that. So there's quite a few things I still need to make this quote-unquote complete. But so far so good. Definitely better than when I got it. So thanks for watching. This is Mr. Dude 206. I'll put out another video as soon as I get more parts. Probably wait till I get the molding and maybe something else, or the marquee. But until then, probably won't see any updates because I'm waiting on the headphone jack and then the other mini marquee. So. That character was so dope back in the day. They should bring him back to some newer games, but he's dead in the water. Anyways, this is Mr. Dude 206. Welcome to the channel. welcome to the channel that I upload projects that I take on, whether it be car or arcade. But good flipping morning. Yeah. If you'd see in front of you, it's an updated Neo Geo cabinet with a bunch of stuff added onto it. Just to say off top, I got my decals, and they came in pretty nice. Lay them on Instagram Live. If you're a fan of the Instagram, you saw something like that. I literally laid them over the existing ones, so no overlap action there. Came out really, really clean. Another addition is that I got my T-molding. I still have to screw up the T-molding on the bottom end, but I gotta lift the cab for that. But I got 40 feet of T-molding of the wood grain variation or leather. They said that's wood grain. I don't even know. But anyways, I wrapped the whole machine in that, tied that together. Pretty cool. I'm still waiting on these coin cells or these coin LEDs. They should be in the mail next week, or not in the mail. I should get them next week. But if you also don't see, I got some crisp ass picture. What I ended up doing is I ended up getting my cap kit in from arcadeparts.com. Went ahead and did my cap kit. I want to say that doing a cap kit is one of the most stressful things you can do on an arcade cabinet, because there's no going back. Once you mess up your arcade monitor, you're done. Especially if it's a CRT one. Those that know, those that work on CRTs or this technology and doing any kind of cap kit with monitors, you're pretty much fucked if you get fucked. So, little story about that. What I used to discharge my monitor was I grabbed a screwdriver from my work truck. You know, a basic screwdriver. And an alligator clip. And what you do is you basically ground this to the chassis. And chassis means the metal part on the back of your arcade cabinet. And what happened is that I discharged it. I did a cap 1 by 1. Make sure that when you do your cap kit, or if you do a cap kit, you match the voltage and you match the microfarad first of all. But the voltage, you can go higher if needed. Maybe I have that backwards. Anyways, Google that shit. I wanted to say that you can't have a lower voltage, otherwise it won't run right. Because I put one in that was lower voltage and I thought I had an issue. Because when I first took everything apart, I was like Dr. Precise with my fucking cap kit, right? And then I go put it all back together and I got one solid dot. I was like, holy fuck. I was literally about to cry. I had a solid dot. No other picture. I was like, what the fuck happened? I was stressing out, man. So then I went and took it apart. Or I went and brought it back to the drawing board. But I realized that when I put it back, I was missing one of the wires that was just dangling down there. So make sure that you label all your wires. And I know I said that prior, but I thought I had all my wires when I put it back. So when I powered it off, make sure your power's off. Anytime you mess with this monitor chassis or monitor, you're going to get shocked the fuck. I don't know if any of you guys got shocked by 120. It's not fun. But getting shocked by the monitor, that's like 300,000 volts or some shit, because it charges like a giant... You're going to be like Jamie Foxx off Spider-Man. Electro. Is that what his name was? Anyways, you're going to get fucked up. I forgot to put a lead on there, and it came, and it worked fucking awesome. So what happened is that it ended up broadening that squish part, and I don't know if you guys remember, but it had that swoop. It doesn't have the swoop anymore. So pretty cool. I spent at least a good 2 hours adjusting this monitor, trying to get it perfect. For those that don't know how to adjust the monitor, just to show you, is typically monitors have these boards. Some do, some don't. There's brightness, horizontal size, horizontal positioning, vertical hold, all that stuff, right? So you can control brightness slightly here. But if you go to the back of the monitor, there's also a few on the neck board. And the far left, since I was messing with it a lot, is green, then red, then blue. There's 2 pairs of each, green, red, and blue. And that adjusts, there's red drive, and then red cutoff. So there's cutoff and drive. What cutoff does is it's saturation. And what drive is, it's kind of, I want to say it's brightness and saturation. It's a combination of both. It's kind of weird. You'll figure it out if any of you guys are doing monitor adjustments. But I was trying to dial it in so much that I couldn't get the brightness right. I was like, why the F is my shit so dark? And then I went and bottomed all these all out, went to the front, did the brightness, and then raised it up little by little, but I still couldn't get it right. Then I forgot that the flyback, which is that black blurb there, has a control on it too. The top knob controls focus, the bottom knob controls brightness. So when I did my cap kit, it just needed to be all adjusted. So I turned down my brightness on the flyback, which is basically a transformer for the monitor, and I turned the focus up a little bit. So then it freaking worked right away. So that was pissing me off until I was like, fuck, there has to be another adjustment here. My monitor can't be that screwed. But after doing it, I'm really, really freaking satisfied because, I got this cab for really, really fucking cheap. And just to put in a few hours here and there, I turned it into this. I'm pretty happy as it stands, but I really want to get my LED and that and my other marquee in that's actually full size. I like this one. I'll probably swap it out here and there, but anyways, cool. So that's about the cabinet. Right now I got the 161 in one in here. So plenty of games to go around. Add some creds. I don't know why there's a freaking credit button in there, because you can just toggle the coin, which doesn't make sense. This guy. Oh. That was always funny back in the day when characters were against the same character. This guy really reminds me of Ruby Hart from Marvel vs. Capcom. But anyways, I really need to freaking clean up my shop here because I got so much going on. I had it clean before I started the situation, but it just got really messy. And if you don't see here, recent acquisition, I picked up another CRT TV. This one I got from class because everyone looked at me like I was fucking crazy because I wanted a freaking CRT TV. But they're hard to come by, especially this size in Sony, so. Turn on the Nintendo. Yep. Yep, that's a mallet. Peter D, where's my tripod, man? You said you were going to get me a tripod. Yeah. Hands free. So, I was just testing this shit. I'll probably put it up in the storage. So, I just like having the extra tube. What's a good, can't go wrong with Batman. Nope. You know what pissed me off about Batman? Is that when you're out of energy, it's fucking impossible to get energy because you gotta kill so many different people. Or you gotta have them regenerate. Motherfucker. Wrong way, Batman. Like, did that even look like a door? I don't think. Yeah, there we go. The Ninja Gaiden jump was the prime time move for the Nintendo era, because you can jump off walls into another wall. That motherfucker, I swear he's impossible to freaking... Unless I use handgun, I guess. I'm talking about the landmine guy, not that weird looking shit. Oh! Fuck your mom in the mouth. Fuck you, jetpack man. I'd move, but I literally have 2 bars of life. Yeah! Anyways. This is Mr. Dude, and thank you for watching my channel, and I'll upgrade you guys when I get the LED shit, and who knows when I'll get that. Still 4 to 6 weeks out. Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Mr. Dude 206, and I wanted to throw up an update video on the Neo Geo. Recently, I got basically all the parts needed for the restoration. I'm still waiting on one thing, but it's not something that's actually needed. It's just another marquee. I ended up getting another marquee that's a 4-slot marquee that's made of actual plexiglass, so I can have it as a backup, or, you know, to swap it out whenever I want. But this one's looking pretty prime. I also did get a bunch of other stuff. I'll show you once I get to it. But anyways, I got my credit LEDs, and to show you, they are wired up and good to go. One thing that I want to mention, if any of you guys out there in YouTube land or Neo Geo modifying arcade cabinet world, they don't work correctly unless you are actually in the US mode, because the dude that did them, his name is Lee, and he's located in the UK. The PCB that he used, they just act weird, because just the way that I can't explain it, but just take my word for it. You can only get proper credits if it's in US mode. Right now it's in Europe, so let me see if I could do this real quick. Right now I have my 2 slot in here with the Unibios. So I'm going to do a soft reboot. And then I'm going to go to region setup. Then go to B USA. And then A arcade. Okay. And then go to C. And then you will also notice that player 1, player 2 shows 0 credits, and also in the US version you'll see credit 1, credit 2. Okay. Also, at the same time, I got my my headphone jack bezel, and it just came as a sticker. It's nothing special, but it's a pretty good laminated sticker, so it's pretty nice that I was able to salvage my metal plate here. But anyways, going back to showing you, is I'm going to go ahead and coin up for coin 2, or coin 1 and coin 2. So this is coin 2. One sec. Where the... See? So, and then credit 1. And it mimics it obviously there. And then you have to make sure that you also don't set your dip switch 7 to free play, otherwise you won't get the effect as, you know, the arcade. So then it'll take 1 credit away there, and take 1 credit away there, and then you'll just go ahead and play. Right now that's playing is Prehistoric Isle. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick Kim Basinger. Nice wink there. So yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and go back. Go to that guy. Oh fuck. Soft reboot. And then I'll set it up to Japanese and arcade. Then I'll cancel out. So insert coin, and it shows credit there only, and there's no credit on the other side. Left player start, right player start. I'm gonna go ahead and coin up. It only coins up on one side, and then I'll coin up with player 2. It still does player 1. So it only works in US mode, because when I first got these 2 LED things, I was like, hey, is my shit fucked up, or do I have the harnesses switched? And I didn't. It just literally works in USA mode only. So, you know, not a major gripe, but it's whatever. It still does the same. So keep that in mind in case you purchase these LED panels. And I think it was $60 for these 2. And then he also got the harness. It came out pretty good. Came pretty quick. Dude's pretty solid. Great customer service. I forgot what he was called, but I bet if you look up the coin counter or credit counter for Neo Geo, he'll pop up right away. He has an online store. Really cool dude. And yeah, nice wink there. But what I wanted to go ahead and show you guys is a freaking mess. Let me see if I could show you some stuff. And I was also working on my car. I was doing a battery relocation kit. And I went ahead and finished that, but I didn't film it because not too many people are into the car hobby. But what I did order from the same guy that I got my marquees from was some more mini marquees. And the marquees that I chose were ones that I grew up with, or the ones that I freaking played a lot as a kid, was King of the Monsters. And these are pretty cheap. World Heroes, mini marquee. Samurai Showdown 2. And Blazing Star. I think I have another one hanging out here somewhere. Just oh, and Aero Fighters 2. You can tell the difference in the quality. This one I got from Sabo's Arcade, the same guy that is making that made the battery or the headphone bezel. You know, definitely glossy print. And then this one's from arcademarquee.com, which is a local guy. It's you know, it's still good quality. It's not as high quality as that guy, but the price is way better with arcademarquee.com. And like I said, it's pretty cool that the dude's local, so I like to support the local people. You know, so why not? And then I also want to show another thing as I shuffle. Let's see. Stand by. I'll put you down real quick. Alright, sorry. I ended up picking up another control panel just as a backup in case shit gets fucked up. I'll have an extra one. You know? Because shit can happen. So, yeah. No biggie. Just some extra marquee stuff. Add that to the collection of miscellaneous marquees that I have around the shop. But, still messing with this guy. It's Retro Pi mode right now. I'd like to get... I don't know, Ken mentioned that you can get the PGM with all the shooters on it. But I really would like to play Dolphin Blue on my monitor or on my cab here, because the resolution on this monitor is pretty legit. Come on. Wait for Dada and Pachi to load up. There we go.
So next we are about to question. Okay, the countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go.
But shit. This is Mr. Dude 206. Thanks for watching. So hope that you guys are a little bit more knowledgeable about these aftermarket things that they have for the Neo Geo. Really cool. And really digging the Neo Geo now that my monitor is all solid. So really cool to have all these arcades. Definitely. One little minor gripe I got is this one's LCD or LED. I want to actually do a tube swap, but maybe that'll be a project for later. Take that out, put a CRT back in. Because originally I had a 20-inch CRT in here, just about as big as this mofo here. But maybe I'll take one of the TVs that I got recently and throw it in there and uncase it. But who knows? Enjoy shit while you can. So, everyone have a wonderful evening. I'll check you guys on the next one, and peace. Oh, forgot to ask the question. What is your favorite movie from the 80s that has to do with... I guess there's a lot. What's your favorite movie from the 80s? Peace. What's going on YouTube? This is Mr. Dude 206 in the garage. And I wanted to do, I guess, 2 videos at once. Or the topic is, what is your favorite pickup of 2019? And this is kind of a response to Nate of the Thrift Dwellers video. And he basically asked, what are your top pickups of 2019? And these are some pretty big pickups. I mean, if you've been collecting games as long as I have, or if you got as serious to collecting games as long as I have and are, you would, you know, want to kind of pick up the more obscure childhood stuff. And, you know, if you see in front of you, I picked up 2 arcade machines that I've always wanted. You know, I've always wanted arcades growing up, but I never knew that I would be able to acquire them as I did, or be fortunate enough to even afford arcade games. You know, once you're a broke little kid, you don't know what the future holds. But anyways, let me just start with, I guess, the first one I picked up, which is actually, I picked up this stand-up Naomi Universal Cabinet. And it's dual purpose. It runs a Raspberry Pi, but it's actually running the Naomi hardware, which is basically the Dreamcast. And I converted this from a Street Fighter 4 up there, to a Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The reason why I chose to convert it to a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is because it's one of my favorite fighting games of all time. You know, minus Street Fighter Alpha series. And, you know, there's a whole lot of people that love Street Fighter 3, but I was a big Marvel fan because of just how Marvel, Doctor Doom versus frickin' Hayato, you know, he's not terribly known. He's from the Star Gladiator series, but, you know, the crossovers back in the 2D fighting era was just so dope. You know, they don't have those licenses where they can actually have those cool Cable. Come on, Cable versus Ryu. You're not gonna get that again, especially with the way Disney is with X-Men and Marvel and blah 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 blah. Anyways, story about this is I picked it up from OfferUp and Craigslist at the same time. I wasn't even really looking for an arcade cabinet. I was just looking for video games and just shitting around the internet, and this came up. And I've always wanted a candy cab, but in my area, they don't pop up a lot, especially at stand-up Net City. I haven't seen any of these really. Usually you find them in their Crazy Taxis, or they're just weird gun con type games, which you can play. You can convert this to play House of the Dead. Anyways, I converted it to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Originally it had Zombie Revenge in it, but to have a candy cab was definitely cool because, you know, it's definitely different to have... Oh, I gotta coin up or add quarters. Where could I steal quarters from? Did I have any in here? So anyways, I was saying, did I put any in here? Oh, there's a harness. Oh, there's one. Found 1 quarter. And there's 2. Oh, here's the manual to Zombie Revenge, which came in the Naomi, and these are for the Neo. I'll just talk about those as I talk about the Neo, but let me coin up some Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Oops. Did that give me some credits? Yeah. And I had to unlock all the people. Let's choose some T-Bone. Some Ruby Heart. And some Morrigan. But I picked this up for a pretty penny, and I had to carry it with my work truck. And it didn't come like this, obviously. I had to redo all the buttons. The dude that had it, he had some cheap RetroPie in there, and it was totally just bugged out. So I had to get the control list, clean it up, rewire the whole thing, and then order the marquee and change all the bulbs. I redid a whole lot of stuff on this cab. And they still wanted a pretty penny, but half the fun of getting arcades, if you're not a collector of arcades, is, you know, fixing it. And, you know, I guess not making it your own, but, you know, just... if you're going to collect arcades, you have to know how to work on them. Because if you don't, it's just an expensive hobby. If you pay somebody else to do it, is what I wanted to say. So, yeah, that's the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Definitely an awesome game. And very classic. I mean, come on, Dan the man. If you're a Street Fighter fan, come on. Dan is the novelty comedic character that if you play as Dan seriously and kick a whole bunch of ass, you're dope shit. Anyways, number 2, I got a big red, or a big red cab. It obviously didn't start like this. It was pretty bare bones. It didn't have the control panel on it. It didn't have any of these LEDs, which I added because I had to get these from a guy in the UK. Hold on, let me just 1 second, please. Really need to get a tripod. But I'm learning how to carry my camera with my neck a little bit better. Anyway. Sorry. Yeah, I had to get all these buttons, get the the control panel. I took everything off, painted this Neo Geo red. I got it color matched. Got this. I sanded this off, and I had to get an overlay sticker from Zabo's Arcades. And this goes with the whole arcade collecting, is that you got to know where to go to get stuff, and it's half the fun. Or at least that's what I think. So I just tore it all down, sanded it, and I even got the Neo Geo decals. And then I got the marquee as well. The only thing that's not original, I guess, not a lot of them have the EL panels that, you know, that can cycle through with when you push the select game. But as you can see, you push select game to add your credits. And I put World Heroes 2 in it. But anyways, I picked this up locally because the price on this was $450 with a 4-slot with 1 game. Actually, no, it had no games. 4-slot that was marked unworking. It was just in shitty shape, and I had to do a cap kit because the screen had some issues too. But I definitely brought this Neo Geo back to life. If you're a fan of my Instagram, Queef206 on Instagram, you can go ahead and check out the progress. I have it way back when I was originally restoring this cabinet. But, you know, restoring it and having an original big red with the CRT fully restored, and I did the restoration, you know, that's definitely a plus. I would always go to the mini mart down the street from my house and play Aero Fighters, and that's why I got these marquees. World Heroes, Samurai Showdown 2, King of the Monsters, and Aero Fighters were the games I would play all the time, so that's why I chose to have them. And it was just pretty cool to have the Neo Geo, because I used to go down, spend my $1, and then get quarters and play the Neo Geo. I'd play King of the Monsters a whole lot too, but you'd only see these in like laundromats and bowling alleys and stuff like that. These guys, these stand-up cabs, you don't really, well, the candy cabs, you don't see them freaking anywhere over in the stateside. And I guess those were pretty much my pickups for 2019. I guess my third one I can add is I had a gaming PC, because we all know how retro collecting is now. Just really expensive, so I kind of jumped ship a little bit, but I still love video games in general. They won't ever leave my life, I guess, because, you know, it's a big part of our culture, I guess 90s and 2000s culture, just arcades, games, video games, and another side thing is cars for me. But that would be the end of that response to you, Nate. If you're still watching, and anybody else watching his channel or watching my channel, you know, I guess I can go through all the other arcades that I got. This is my first arcade cabinet, which is my Turbo Street Fighter Hyper Fighting Cab, and I got this for $300. And I totally had to rewire this too. It's on its second monitor, because when I was learning how to do cap kits, and so let me start. When I was first messing with the monitor, it was upside down. Then I changed the yoke wire, flipped it, and inverted it. When all I had to do is go to the PCB board and choose flip monitor flip as an option. I didn't know that back then, so I totally just blew up the monitor. I had to source this from eBay, the monitor, and that wasn't easy because you can't find arcade monitors that easy working on eBay anymore. Even new old stock of tri-sync monitors, for those that know about arcades, those are way more expensive now because the stock is depleting like goddamn. So I got this from some kind of weird casino. So it was a slot machine CRT, and he wanted like $600. So I privately messaged the dude. I was like, "Hey man, my arcade literally took a shit. Could you possibly give a brother a discount on your CRT for your arcade cab?" So he dropped it down from $6 down to like $4.25. So any discount I'll go ahead and take. But it was really cool for him to do that, to bring my arcade back to, you know, CRT. And nothing against LCDs, but it's like having a hair on the tongue. It's very annoying to have an arcade cabinet with LCD. You gotta have the CRT to get that original, authentic feel. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about shit. At least all the arcades that I want, they gotta be CRT. So I even went and got a Marvel vs. Capcom cab, and this one I put my Pandora's Box 9, but I had a CRT in here, but it was in just bad shape, and it was a 25-inch monitor. I should have kept it, but I was so arcade pure or CRT pure where I wanted the best convergence and best color balance and everything that it was just kind of a weird fixing addiction. I couldn't get it perfect, so I went LCD. And I've had LCD on this for so long that I wanted to revert it back to having a CRT. Let me shut up Ryu real quick. So what happened is I found a consumer grade tube TV. I gutted it and then I put it back into here, and I made some custom brackets. I made the whole bezel and everything, and I restored this back to a CRT. I mean, it's not as big. As soon as I find another Trintron or something that'll fit this, I'll probably slap that in there. But definitely cool. Sorry for a long-winded video. Some people, you know, probably enjoy these videos that I post up, but definitely my arcade thing within the 2019 was something that I was working on a lot because, you know, it's fucking dope shit to have your little mini arcade while you're chilling in the garage. Especially with all CRTs and free play. Childhood dream right here, you know what I mean? But anyways, this is Mr. Dude 206. Probably rambled on too long. Yeah, I don't know what else to say besides I was pretty cool to get a Candy Cab and a Neo Geo as a project and finish them for the 2019. Who knows what 2020 will entail, or 2020 will entail, but I'm probably gonna work on the Nissan and end up getting a new kit and then repainting it because, you know, I need something to do and put all these tools to use. So, Mr. Dude 206, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Have a good day. And if anybody's watching and commenting below, what is the first arcade cabinet you ever played? I'd like that in the comments because that'd be really cool. And where you played it, if you remember. Mine was at a local mini-mart that I had to take the bus to, and it was Street Fighter 2 when it first came out. Because when Street Fighter 2 first came out, everybody wanted to play as Blanca because he was weird. And I paid 50 cents, and then I took the bus all the way back home, 2-hour trip on the bus, because buses are slow, and I didn't have a car. Anyways, end of the video. Check you guys later. Peace out.